I've just been thinking about this. I've never publicly spoken about it, but over the last 6 years, I know 5 men in between like 25 to 32 years old that have killed themselves.
Yeah.
And I would just love to understand your perspective of kind of what do you think is happening with young men? Why are they choosing to take their own lives? I know it's a super deep and loaded question, but it's just something I've been thinking about and don't have an answer to. And I'd love to get your take on that.
That's the thing about suicide. You're never going to have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what makes suicide so hard. Forget it happening, the loss, the hole that you will leave that people think they don't realize they'll leave. Oh, no one will miss me. They'll not only miss you, your entire community is going to fall apart. There's going to be a gap that can never be filled. There's always going to be the thing in the child of the parent who died by suicide why couldn't they stay? Was I not good enough? Did I do the wrong thing? Is this my fault? Then like the widow title, like the damage it does, the anger, the frustration. I've talked to Sarah Wilkinson about this, Chad Wilkinson's wife. She's a good friend. She does the Chad 1000. She has a Step Up Foundation. And she's been on the show and she talks about it. She goes, I'm just so fucking angry. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes that, right? They don't want to be like mad at the guy, but I'm angry. You got up out of my bed and you walked away from our family. And when she said that to me, my heart broke for her because it's such a nuanced conversation around suicide. Mm-hmm. So some things are happening, right? Were these military people?
No, one of them, the one that I'm thinking about was one of my buddies in college that I played baseball with. Mm-hmm. And he just like unexpectedly jumped in front of a train and killed himself. Yeah. Which was just crazy because he was like
impulse.
Good looking kid, smart, right. Incredible athlete, right. Girlfriend. No one understood
Head injuries?
His dad said that there might have been some component to it. But part of why I'm bringing this up to you is like, so this happened in 2017. Okay. Everyone was just, really sad, missing him. And then I got lunch with his parents. And so the perspective of Sarah that you brought up, I kind of felt that on behalf of his parents, where I was like, just really angry. I'm like, you selfish fuck. Like, how could you do this to your parents? Right. And I feel like that anger has kind of stayed with me, but I don't know if that's the right reaction. On behalf of his parents and his sister.
Well, the anger is always the outfacing emotion, but underneath it is the sadness. Yeah. Like, how could you? How could you do that? And I think all feelings are valid in that situation, right? Where some people are like, you can't be angry. How could you? The person was struggling with mental health. It's like, well, because I can be, and I am, and that's okay. Doesn't mean it will be forever, but it means I am, and that I'm gonna honor that feeling. Because to feel it, if you want to heal, you got to feel it.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got. Here's what I see. I am not a scientist or a doctor, but from perspective and being in the community that has the amount of suicides that we have, here's what I see with young men. Young men are being made to feel and have been made to feel up until this new generation, which has swung the other way completely, that their feelings don't matter and that they can't feel them and that they shouldn't feel them and that to be the big tough guy, you gotta work out, you gotta just eat meat, and you gotta just like take that and just shove that shit real far down. Like, it's cool, bro. Like, we've cultivated a community of people that boys don't cry. You know what? America, I see this a lot. And I see it in the rural areas of Canada. The harder people, the southern people, boys don't cry. Well, that was just what they were taught, right? So it's like hard to blame the parents, where ultimately it's the parents' responsibility to make that child feel accepted in all their feelings. But if they are not taught that crying is okay, that emotions are okay, that they have to just be compliant, you're dealing with a different animal. So it's not to like play the blame game, but you have got a generation of guys right now where, I mean, it sounds silly, but I don't know if you know of that musician, Oliver Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Did you ever listen to that song? That one he put out that went viral, that popped?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oof. He's just saying what everyone's thinking, right? We've done some stuff to the world where if you're a certain type of person right now, you're just the devil.
Yep.
You're a straight white male. You're a cis straight white male. Ew, you have feelings and emotions? How fucking dare you in your white privilege? shut the fuck up. That is why people take their goddamn lives. You think it's acceptable to tell people they can't feel because of their fucking gender and because of their fucking color. I'm so tired of this right now. When men are told, suck it up, you're the provider for the family. You're the provider for your children and your wife. How would you, like, I've seen there's this human. She's with like Turning Points or something. I love Turning Points. I love their guys' stuff. I think it's brilliant. I think they just say half the things I think, but I'm in communist Canada, so my words don't get out of Canada. So anyway, she went on the show, and there's this show where this guy sits down and he interviews like a bunch of people, and then he just like asks them questions, and it'll be like a bunch of OnlyFans girls, and he'll just like ask them, do you know who I'm talking about?
Whatever podcast?
Whatever. It's fantastic. I love the premise of it.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, but he had this one girl on that's like a Turning Points girl. I can't remember her name for the life of me. I think she's fantastic, but I didn't love her stance on this, and this really bothered me, and it's this perpetuation that she said something along the lines of, I wouldn't want to be with a man who cried all the time. And I was like, you're 22. You have nothing to cry about.
Yeah.
But there are people that are older than that who have been around for a little bit who need to cry about some shit. Right? Because ultimately being with a spouse and being with a partner means you accept me for all the levels. So if someone is sick in the family or struggling and they need to cry, you need to be that rock. I don't care if it's ugly, what it is. You married that person. You're with that person. Good, bad, ugly, all of it. The wins, the losses, it doesn't matter. Your job is to be there for that person, make them feel safe and loved, and be like, I don't judge you if you cry every day for the next 7 days. Because if that's what your soul needed, that's what your soul needed. And I am here for you. And furthermore, you are more courageous. You are braver. You are showing a different side. That's called vulnerability. And honey, that shit is sexy. That is beautiful. That means there's depth there. That means they care about themselves to feel safe enough to let you see it. So all of these famous TikTokers and people coming up that have these like clip shows and all of these things who are 20 and just getting married or never been married, who haven't been through anything, have the audacity. We talked about this. You have a responsibility when you have a platform. That's just my opinion. You don't have to love it. Well, I just got famous. I just been talking to my bros. But people are listening to that. You are what they hear. And that gets in their subconscious. So when people like that have platforms sit there and say, and this is not like a slight, I'm not even attacking her. I think she is good at what she does. But I would encourage that individual to take a step back and look at perspective and maybe go, we got an awful lot of 20 to 45-year-old men here that are killing themselves at a real high rate. Maybe it's rhetoric and unaccepting, the idea that women can sit there and say, oh, this guy's weak if he cries. Oof, that hits a nerve with me.
Yeah.
You need to be able to be open